Hey guys, and welcome back to United 1-6. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Manchester United's preseason. And this preseason started in Stockholm when Manchester United faced Leeds United. And this game was actually like trying to build up the fitness going into the year store. So we actually ended up drawing the game. And then going into the US store, we had a pretty decent run. I think we won 2 games and lost one. Yeah, and that gave us enough points to be able to win the US Summer Series, Premier League Summer Series, which gave us a cup. And then we also played Florentina as the last game of the preseason, where we drew the game 1-1 and won on penalty shootouts, which gave us another cup, Snapdragon Cup. So this preseason gives Manchester United fans to pick out a lot of positives from the teams and also negative from the teams, and that's what this video is going to be about. I'm going to be giving and telling you guys the positives in the whole preseason and the negatives on where we can do better and so on. So let's go into it. Now the first point is fitter players. The players look fit. That was like the whole theme of the whole preseason for Carrington. Players look fit, they look bulk, because Ruben Amorim actually gave the players like fitness plans going into their summer holidays. So, and according to reports, the players were actually strict in following those fitness plans given to them by the coach and the fitness medical department. So the players stuck to it and they came back looking fit and lean. That obviously helped in preparing them for the upcoming season. And that's obviously a huge part of the Premier League. You know that it's very physical. So we need our players to be in top shape going into the season. So that's a positive. Now, the other point is good vibes. Good vibes around the team. Everybody looks, there's a good like sense of optimism going into the season. Everybody obviously left the past behind them. Last season was terrible. Obviously, it's in the past. We now have a clean slate. So everybody is optimistic to put everything right and push on from there and have positive season this year. Yeah. And the other point is obviously Carrington opening. We got the competition on Friday. Carrington has officially opened a renovated Carrington that has the latest facilities, fitness wise, medical wise, everything, entertainment wise. It basically has all the tools players need to be in good shape going into the season and preparing for games. And obviously in Carrington, they also provided spaces where the players can interact with each other, like recreational spaces where they can improve that team bonding. And obviously, improving bonding will make you play better on the pitch. Like just imagine this: we obviously play football at one point in our lives, and we find it easier and better when we play with people who are actually close with us. When we play with our friends, we want to fight for one another, want to fight for each other. We communicate on the pitch. We are more open and we play more free. So that's the same thing. Hopefully, the team is able to build that chemistry together, that friendship and togetherness, so that they'll be able to fight for one another in the pitch. And also going into the facilities, we have lots of facilities that the players can get ready with. Also, we complained about injuries. We obviously have improved medical teams, medical facilities that the players can use to avoid injuries and also for their rehabilitation if they get injuries. Hopefully they won't. Yeah, and also they also have improved locker room. Locker room looks absolutely amazing. You can check the pictures on Manchester United's page on Instagram or the Money website. You see how good the facilities look. I'm sure all of you will have seen it. The players now have like updated first world class facilities and you also have like funny like iPad stuff on their locker rooms where they can actually see the schedules that they have for the whole week. So that's actually positive. Lots of vibes, lots of energy going into the season. Obviously, we left the building that saw our worst ever Premier League season and now going into Carrington, which is a quite historic building that was built for redevelopment and was obviously we developed the building for future success. So hopefully this new building will serve as a catalyst for future development. And obviously, when you enter like a new building, there's obviously a sense of optimism. I want to stay in, I want to stay more, I want to try things, I want to do things. So that's obviously a positive for the players to try new things, to like stay more in the building and just feel at home and use what they have at their disposal to improve their shape and hopefully it applies into the pitch. And then we go into the next point, which is more dynamism in the top part of the pitch. Obviously, in some of the preseason games, we've seen that Ruben Amorim has not used an out-and-out striker like maybe Haaland. He has actually used Cunha and Bruno Fernandes sometimes. So that tells us that we potentially don't really need a striker, maybe Haaland. We don't need it. That we can actually go with a flexible front three of just three number 10. So it'll be interesting to see how that works. And obviously, Joshua Jackson, you can see that he's actually not an out and out striker. He can play as a striker and he can also play as a 10. So I feel like the striker position actually needs somebody that's physical. He must not be able to make the runs, like run the channels. He just needs to be physical to be able to handle the defenders well. And Joshua Jackson is physical, he's good at making up play. The only thing that makes him maybe not an out and out striker is his pace, like his agility to be able to run the channels, but he's physical. He's able to manhandle defenders, and the front three of Xerxes, Cunha, and Mbeumo will be quite exciting, considering the fact that we don't actually need to rely on an out-and-out striker. And obviously, we've brought in Benjamin Sesko, which is a really good signing. And yeah, Benjamin Sesko is a really good signing, so he can actually provide competition for the strikers we have, Hoyland, Hido, and Zexi. And also, based on preseason games we had, you can also see that the front three of maybe Miles, Cunha, and Buemo, you know, one of those players can play as nine, like we saw in the game against Everton and in the game against Fiorentina. So there's a lot of dynamism and fluidity up front. Preferably, it would be better to have an out-and-out striker there to hold like a focal point and cause defenders some problem, but it's also good to have some fluidity and more options. Yeah. And now going into the negatives or something that's not as fun as this, we obviously have Rasmus Højlund. Rasmus Højlund is done at Manchester United Football Club. I think he's done. I know most of you think he's done. He's going to leave. Apparently, the club wants to sell him, but Rasmus himself doesn't want to go. He wants to stay at the club and fight for his place. He's not scared of competition from Shesko or any other striker. He wants to fight for his place. But I think the game against Florentina serves as a stern warning to Rasmus that he has to leave the club and find another club. Apparently, AC Milan are ready to do a deal for him, but he wants to stay. And obviously, if you looked at Ruben Amorim's press conference today, it's obvious that he doesn't want to use Rasmus. You could tell based on his press conference, he said something that the game we actually struggled because we didn't have an out and out striker, but we have one now, and he was referring to Shesko. But he didn't doesn't he know that we have a striker on the bench, Rasmus. He didn't refer to Rasmus, he refers to Shesko. And obviously Chido is inexperienced and Zirkzee is injured. So I'm sure Zirkzee was there, he probably have started and same thing, Rasmus is not going to play. So obviously Rasmus is being forced out of the door. He didn't start, he didn't get a single minute today. So that's obviously a clear sign that He's not part of Ruben Amorim's plan anymore, and he has to find a move. So we've already gotten a replacement for him, Benjamin Sesko. Really exciting, really tall, 6 foot 5, good on the air, has a powerful shot in him. So hopefully with Ruben Amorim's coaching and with the more experienced players around him, he can fulfill his world-class potential at Manchester United. And now going into the midfield needs work. We need work in the midfield. Sometimes in games we see that the midfield is open and can get easily passed through easily. So we need physicality in the midfield. If you go with Ugarte and Meno, Bruno has to play. Bruno has to play, whether in the 10 or in the midfield, but Bruno has to play. And the midfield with Ugarte and Meno is actually good. I think that's where our best midfield, but it only becomes better if they play games consistently. If you give them like 5 games and they're under their belts together, they're obviously going to get better because Ugarte is the more physical and defensive minded player, while Mino is the more calm and attacking minded player. So a mixture of them two actually be good. But I feel like United need more energy in the midfield, considering the fact that Ruben Amorim wants to play Bruno in the midfield. Because obviously Bruno and Mbeumo and Cunha are obviously going to be starting as the two tens. So Bruno is obviously going to play in the midfield, and you need a physical, energetic player to play close to Bruno to make that midfield work. We're looking at Carlos Valiba. Hopefully, we get him. I think we're going to get him because obviously Manchester United is a brave to David Ornstein that we are interested in Carlos Valiba, and we have started talking to his agent. So hopefully, that's something that can materialize, and we can actually potentially make a bid and get the deal done because I think it's going to be a really good signing for us. Lots of energy, lots of physicality. So we'll see in the coming days and weeks if we actually make a move for him. And now, I want to talk about up front again, the physical presence up top. So obviously, Ruben Amorim talked about in the game today that he needs a striker. And yeah, he needs a striker. We needed a striker in the game. And obviously made reference to Benjamin Sesko as a new striker because in the game today and the game against Everton, the Fiorentina game and the Everton game, you could see that whoever played as a 9, whether Mount or Cunha, you could see that they lacked physicality to be able to hold on to play and just only defend us sometimes. So I think that's why we need that physical striker. And Zirkzee can do that perfectly. Zirkzee, I think he has better hold of play than Horner. He's good at linking up the play, has a wonderful touch in him, similar to Berbatov, not comparing to Berbatov, but if you watch Berbatov play, you can see that they are very similar in terms of touch, class, the way they progress the play and stuff like that. So hopefully Zirkzee will get more play time, he gets fit and gets goal. And I think also my fans needs to be patient with Zirkzee because obviously he didn't get a preseason, so hopefully he can get fit, get some games from the bench and to regain his fitness. And now I want to talk about the sales. We need more sales to be able to facilitate more deals because obviously I think Man United will get at least 2 more signings in through door in summer window. We need sales to facilitate those moves. Obviously, we have Garnacho who will be heading to Chelsea. Hopefully, we're able to negotiate a good deal for him and get him out of the door. Garnacho will go in. Hopefully, we can get like at least £40 million for him with some add-ons and sell-on clause. And then obviously Anthony. Anthony's his case is quite now. So hopefully something gets moving around that and can sell him and bring him money. And also Sancho. Sancho, he talks about Juventus Fenerbahce. It will be interesting to see the club he actually goes to. So hopefully we can be able to sell those players and bring in some funds to be able to facilitate more signings like Liva if you're actually going to look for him because Saliba is going to be very expensive. You're going to be paying something in the region of 90 million to 100 million. So hopefully we're going to get those sales get done and make a bid. And also I want to talk about the goalkeeper situation. goalkeeper situation. So obviously Onana is injured, and obviously we need a new goalkeeper because we don't really have good goalkeepers. Personally, this is my opinion, famous unpopular opinion. I think Altai Binder is actually a better goalkeeper than Onana. I think he is. He's better at scoring out from crosses. He's better at penalties. He's just generally better. I think he's better, and all he needs is confidence, similar to Anthony. Altai Binder and Anthony are quite similar when Anthony was at United. I just think he needs confidence to be able to get going, and yeah, well, he obviously doesn't have a future as well, so hopefully we are able to get a new goalkeeper in. Yeah, I think with a new goalkeeper, and obviously hopefully if we get Alois Oliva, we'll be able to progress and have a good season. Yeah, so I think those are my takeaways from the whole preseason tour and what we need to do in transfer window and stuff like that. So hopefully Manchester United are able to get those deals done. Transfer window has been good. We just need sales and an agile, energetic midfielder and a good goalkeeper. Yeah, so that's all I have to say. And if we get that, I think we're going to have a really good positive season ahead. So yeah, those are my thoughts of the preseason below and what United have to do to have a good season, play better, yeah, with lots of energy, lots of positivity, enthusiasm, good preseason, Carrington opening, the new vibes, new energy, enthusiasm. I strongly believe and I hope, like not hope, I believe that this season is going to be way better than last season, considering the fact that we have more competition for places and more options at Ruben's disposal. So hopefully this season is going to be better than last season and we'll finish in a good position because I believe that. Yeah. So thank you guys for watching this video. United Rotics. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me all what you guys think in the comment section below. I appreciate all the likes, all the comments, all the views. I appreciate all the views. The channel is growing and hopefully yeah, keep growing. So thank you guys for watching and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.